was telling somebody about old Lefty, and you never heard of Lefty Frizzell? My God, what are you doing in Nashville? I mean, they ought to run people like that out of town. And
Lefty Frizzell stands as a towering figure in the world of country music, remembered for his smooth voice, unique phrasing, and the unmistakable emotional depth he brought to each song. Born on March 31st, 1928, in Corsicana, Texas, Frizzell's early life was grounded in humble beginnings, where music was a source of solace and joy. It wasn't long before his talent became undeniable, and by the 1950s, he had cemented himself as one of country music's brightest stars. Frizzell's influence on the genre is far-reaching, often credited as a pioneer who brought soul and vulnerability into country music in a way that resonated deeply. His hits, such as If You've Got the Money, I've Got the Time, and Long Black Veil, are not only celebrated as classics, but also as benchmarks for artists like George Jones, Willie Nelson, and Merle Haggard, who cite him as an inspiration. However, Lefty Frizzell's life was far from a simple tale of musical success. Behind the fame lay a struggle with addiction that would ultimately cast a shadow over his career and personal life. As his daughter candidly recalls, his battle with alcohol impacted those closest to him and took a toll that no level of fame could alleviate. It destroyed everything, she reflects, offering insight into the heavy cost of addiction and its profound effect on their family. In this exploration of Lefty Frizzell's life, we'll delve into both the triumphs and tribulations that shaped him as an artist and a father. Through the perspective of his daughter, who experienced his highs and lows firsthand, we uncover a complex legacy of resilience, heartbreak, and the enduring spirit of an artist whose music continues to inspire. What hidden truths will emerge about Lefty Frizzell, and how did his personal battles influence his legacy? Join us as we uncover the depth of this country music icon's life. Lefty Frizzell was born William Orville Frizzell on March 31st, 1928, in Corsicana, Texas. Growing up in a working-class family, Lefty's early years were marked by hard times, but his household was full of music. His parents, both fans of country and blues, often played records, sparking his passion for music. At an early age, Lefty showed a remarkable talent for singing, impressing friends and neighbors with his natural voice and stage presence. His family quickly saw his potential, and his mother encouraged him to pursue his passion. By age 4, Lefty was already performing for small audiences, singing in local venues with a sense of charm that captivated those around him. As he grew older, his influences expanded to the honky-tonk and blues sounds that filled the air of Texas towns. Hank Williams, Jimmy Rogers, and the Texas Playboys became some of Lefty's early heroes, shaping his unique blend of country with elements of blues and storytelling that would later define his sound. Lefty's ambitions grew through his teenage years, and by his late teens, he formed his first band, the Lefty Frizzell Band. His early shows in honky-tonks and dance halls around Texas caught the attention of local fans and eventually Columbia Records. In 1950, at just 22 years old, Lefty signed his first record deal, setting the stage for an incredible rise to fame. His debut single, If You've Got the Money, I've Got the Time, was an instant hit, shooting to the top of the country charts. Audiences connected with Lefty's smooth, emotive phrasing and the genuine emotion he conveyed through his music. Soon, he was topping the charts with other hits like Long Black Veil and Saginaw, Michigan, solidifying his place as a rising star in country music. His success was groundbreaking. Lefty wasn't just popular, he was shaping the future of country music, inspiring a new generation of artists who saw in him a master of vocal phrasing and soulful storytelling. However, the demands of fame were soon to test Lefty's resilience. Touring was exhausting, and the pressures of constant performances began to weigh heavily on him. Although he was living his dream, the strains of his career took a personal toll, as he struggled to balance his rapid success with a sense of normalcy. As his fame skyrocketed, so did the challenges he faced. The fame that once felt like a dream soon became overwhelming, setting the stage for the darker struggles that would soon emerge. In the next chapter, we'll explore how the temptations and pressures of Lefty's lifestyle began to take a toll on him, introducing a battle with addiction that would ultimately shape his legacy. With Lefty Frizzell's swift rise to fame, the pressures of success began to weigh on him. As his popularity soared, so did the demands of a life spent constantly in the public eye. By the early 1950s, he was a regular presence on the charts, his smooth voice and signature style becoming a staple in country music. But behind the scenes, the lifestyle of a country star began to introduce challenges that would eventually lead him down a darker path. The rigorous schedule took Lefty across the country, where late-night shows, frequent travel, and the pressures of performing night after night left him physically and mentally drained. The young artist found himself thrust into a world filled with adoring fans and endless performances, yet the constant demand began to take a toll on his personal life. Lefty started relying on alcohol as a way to unwind after performances, a habit that, at first, seemed harmless, but soon spiraled out of control. Initially, his drinking was a quiet affair, a way to relax and escape the demands of the road. However, as his dependency grew, Lefty began showing signs of distress. He often confided to friends about the isolation he felt despite being surrounded by fans. "It's like I'm out there for everyone but myself," he told a close friend, revealing a deep sense of loneliness. As his career continued, alcohol became a frequent companion, a way to cope with the pressures and stress that his growing fame brought. Lefty's addiction, though hidden at first, soon became more noticeable to those around him. His family and bandmates started to notice changes in his behavior. He was moodier, distant, and often missed rehearsals or showed up late to performances. Friends close to him recognized that the man who had once captivated audiences with his effortless charm was slowly becoming consumed by his struggles. Fellow musicians, although supportive, often struggled to confront him. "You could see he was hurting," one friend later recounted, "but he was the star. Who were we to say anything?" Despite his personal struggles, Lefty managed to keep his career afloat. Songs like Long Black Veil and I Love You a Thousand Ways continued to top the charts, maintaining his place in country music. Yet the fame that brought him success also reinforced his reliance on alcohol. As the years went by, his performances became less consistent, and rumors about his erratic behavior began to circulate within the country music community. Lefty's struggles became an open secret, with some fans noticing his diminished stage presence and others brushing it off as just part of the hard-living lifestyle associated with country stars. Behind the scenes, Lefty's personal life was beginning to suffer even more. His addiction put a strain on his marriage, and his relationship with his family grew tense. His daughter, in later interviews, described the heartbreak of watching her father's downward spiral. "He was the life of the party when he was on stage," she shared. "But at home, he was struggling with a pain we couldn't fix." The family witnessed firsthand the toll his addiction took, often fearing for his well-being and trying to support him, despite feeling helpless. As Lefty's struggles continued, he began to face the consequences of his choices. Missed gigs, canceled appearances, and erratic behavior became more common, leading to a decline in his reputation within the industry. Despite his immense talent, Lefty's drinking threatened to overshadow his career, and he soon found himself grappling with the duality of his life as both an admired artist and a man fighting inner demons. In this period of turmoil, Lefty's music became both an outlet and a battleground. His songs, still rich with emotion, began to reflect the tension between the fame he cherished and the pain he endured. As we move forward, we'll explore how these battles intensified and the effects they had on both his career and his family life. The pressures of success and addiction would eventually lead Lefty to a breaking point, setting the stage for a series of struggles that would shape the rest of his life and legacy. Understanding Lefty Frizzell's life through his daughter's eyes reveals the profound impact of addiction on their family. To her, Lefty was not just a country music star, but a father navigating fame's challenges and the weight of personal demons. In her memories, the man who lit up a stage was often worlds apart from the man at home, a juxtaposition that shaped her life in ways few could understand. Reflecting on her childhood, Lefty's daughter remembered the sense of pride she felt seeing her father perform. "He had this way of captivating everyone," she recalled, describing the charisma that endeared him to countless fans. Yet as a young girl, she struggled to reconcile the bright stage lights with the shadows that followed him home. At times, he was this joyful presence, and at others, he was like a stranger, she said, recalling the periods when his drinking would intensify, making his mood erratic and unpredictable. The duality was something she sensed early on but didn't fully understand. Growing up, she witnessed the transformations that came with his addiction. The nights he would miss family dinners, the days when his absence was more felt than his presence. It was confusing because he was so loving, but the drinking changed him. she shared, reflecting on the impact of his substance dependency on their relationship. One particularly painful memory stood out: her father's broken promises. She vividly remembered times he would say, "I'm going to make things right," only to fall back into old habits. It was heartbreaking because each time I'd believe him. But then he'd disappear again, pulled back into that world of addiction, she explained. These disappointments became a recurring pattern, leaving her with both empathy and frustration. As Lefty's addiction progressed, so did her sense of responsibility toward him. She watched as his performances began to falter, his once electric stage presence dimmed by the toll addiction was taking. "It was hard to watch him struggle because I could see the man he was fighting to be," she shared. This struggle created a complicated relationship filled with love, but tainted by the fear that he was slipping away. Even with the challenges, her admiration for her father's talent and passion remained strong. Music was his life. It was how he expressed himself, she said. Despite the pain, those moments when he shared his music with her and the family were memories she would always hold dear. He could light up any room with his voice, she remembered, adding that he seemed most at peace when he was singing or playing his guitar. In later years, Lefty's daughter came to view her father's journey as a mix of light and darkness, one that taught her valuable lessons about love and resilience. "He was a flawed man, but he was also my dad," she reflected. Her father's life, though troubled, was filled with moments that showed his humanity, and those glimpses made her more compassionate toward the complexities of addiction. Her perspective offers a deeply human view of Lefty Frizzell, a beloved artist who, despite his personal battles, remained a devoted father. In her eyes, he was more than the songs he sang. He was a man whose love, struggles, and resilience left a lasting impact on her life. As we continue, her insights remind us that behind the legendary music was a father whose story was both painful and beautiful. As Lefty Frizzell's career soared, so did the darker side of fame. The constant touring, intense schedule, and availability of alcohol turned into a toxic combination that pushed him further into addiction. By the height of his success, Frizzell was caught in a cycle of self-destruction, one that took a significant toll on both his personal life and his music. In the early days, his drinking was seen as part of the honky-tonk lifestyle, something that went hand in hand with the world of country music. But as his dependency grew, the addiction began to seep into every aspect of his life, and those closest to him saw the change. It was like watching someone fade away, a fellow musician would later recall. Lefty had so much talent, but the alcohol took over. The public began to notice the signs as well. Once known for his lively, engaging performances, Lefty's shows became increasingly unpredictable. He would arrive late, appear distracted, and occasionally forget lyrics. For the fans who adored him, it was heartbreaking. Some nights, he could still conjure his old magic, but on others, he was just a shadow of himself, struggling to recapture the passion that had defined his early career. The impact of his addiction extended beyond the stage and into his personal life. Lefty's daughter remembers the strain his drinking placed on their family. Nights were often filled with tension, his addiction leading to broken promises and missed moments. There were times he'd say he was going to change, but he'd slip back again, she reflected. For the family, each relapse was another reminder of the hold addiction had on him, as well as the sorrow that came with watching someone they loved struggle. Lefty's addiction also started to affect his relationships within the music industry. Fellow musicians and collaborators grew concerned about his reliability, and record executives worried about the impact of his behavior on his career. Although he attempted to seek help multiple times, the relentless pressure of maintaining a music career made recovery difficult. Friends within the industry attempted interventions, but their efforts often fell short. He wanted to get better, but he just couldn't escape it, one colleague recalled. It was heartbreaking for all of us. By the mid-1960s, Lefty's career had been visibly impacted. His record sales declined, and opportunities for live performances dwindled as venues grew wary of his reputation. Despite these setbacks, his passion for music remained a constant. He would often retreat to songwriting, pouring his struggles and heartache into his lyrics. Music was his outlet, his daughter shared. Even when everything else was falling apart, he turned to his guitar. The impact of Lefty's addiction serves as a tragic reminder of the toll fame can take on even the most talented individuals. In Lefty's case, the price of success came with a profound cost. a battle that would ultimately shape his life, his family, and his legacy. As we continue, we'll explore his final years, his moments of attempted redemption, and the lasting impact of his journey on those who knew and loved him. As Lefty Frizzell's life drew toward its end, his desire for redemption grew stronger. The toll of his years of struggle, both physically and emotionally, had left him worn down, and he began to reckon with the consequences of his addiction. He knew the cost of his lifestyle, the missed moments with his family, the fraying of his career, and the lost friendships. Now, he was determined to make amends and attempt to reclaim his life. After one particularly difficult period, Lefty checked himself into a rehabilitation program, emerging with a renewed determination to stay sober. His daughter recalls this as a brief but hopeful chapter. We saw glimpses of who he used to be. He was trying, genuinely trying, to be the man he wanted to be, not just the legend. Lefty's letters to family and close friends from this time showed his sincere regret for the pain he had caused. "I want to make things right," he wrote to his daughter, emphasizing his commitment to change. For a time, it seemed he was on the path to redemption. His return to the studio and brief touring schedule showed the resilience of a man committed to his music and family. But the industry that had both made and broken him was waiting, and the pressures of performing, combined with the temptations ever present in that world, often pushed him to the brink. Despite his best efforts, Lefty found it challenging to stay sober amidst the very lifestyle he was trying to escape. The unrelenting cycle of tours and recordings threatened his resolve, and the strain of recovery mixed with the lure of his past struggles proved nearly impossible to navigate. After each slip, he returned to rehab, making yet another effort to overcome his addiction. Sadly, these attempts became a painful reminder of the difficulty he faced in breaking free. On July 19, 1975, at the age of 47, Lefty passed away from the tolls his lifestyle had exacted on his body, leaving behind a family that both grieved his loss and mourned the unrealized potential of his later years. His daughter remembers the conflicting emotions of that time. "We lost him to something bigger than him. I still believe he wanted to change. He just couldn't find the way out." Lefty Frizzell's final years were marked by his attempts to reconcile with his loved ones and regain his sense of purpose. Yet addiction proved a constant adversary. His story serves as a somber reminder of the complexities that artists often face, illuminating the inner battles that may forever go unseen. As we conclude his story, we'll explore how Lefty's legacy and the lessons of his life continue to resonate within the world of country music and beyond. Lefty Frizzell's passing marked a somber end to a career filled with both triumph and heartbreak, yet his influence continues to resonate deeply within country music. Despite his struggles, Frizzell's artistry left an indelible mark on the genre, inspiring generations of artists with his distinct vocal phrasing, relatable storytelling, and emotive style that connected with fans on a deeply personal level. Frizzell's unique phrasing, sometimes described as a crying style of singing, transformed country music. He had a way of stretching words and bending notes that brought a unique vulnerability to his songs, influencing country greats like Merle Haggard, Willie Nelson, and George Jones, all of whom credited Lefty as a foundational inspiration in their own music. Haggard once said, "There's a bit of Lefty in all of us," a testament to how Lefty's style became woven into the fabric of the genre. Even modern artists recognize Lefty's contributions. Today's country musicians draw from the emotional rawness and relatable storytelling that he pioneered, building on his legacy with each song that aims to bridge personal experience with universal themes. Hits like "If You've Got the Money, I've Got the Time" and "Long Black Veil" continue to be covered and celebrated by both longtime fans and new listeners, illustrating Lefty's timeless appeal and his lasting impact on the genre. His daughter, dedicated to preserving her father's legacy, has shared stories and reflections on his life, offering a more complete picture of who he was both as an artist and a father. She actively engages with fans and historians, ensuring that Lefty's contributions to country music are not only remembered, but also understood in their full context. He was more than just his struggles. He was a man who lived and breathed music. And that's how I want him remembered, she shared in a recent interview. Her efforts to preserve his story offer new generations insight into the talent and tragedy of his life, painting a portrait that balances his genius with his humanity. Beyond his influence on individual artists, Lefty Frizzell's life also serves as a cautionary tale about the challenges faced by those in the spotlight. His struggles with addiction reveal a sobering truth about the pressures of fame and the personal toll it can exact on even the most talented performers. As Lefty's story is retold, it prompts vital conversations on mental health and addiction, fostering empathy and understanding for those who face similar battles today. Lefty Frizzell's impact remains vibrant, his songs standing the test of time, and his legacy inspiring countless others to embrace their true voices in music. His life and music exemplify the beauty and complexity of country music, blending sorrow with strength and reflecting the realities of life's highs and lows. As fans continue to celebrate his contributions, Lefty Frizzell's spirit lives on, not only as an icon of country music, but as a reminder of the power of vulnerability and authenticity. His journey, though filled with challenges, is a testament to resilience and the enduring power of music to connect across generations. In remembering Lefty Frizzell, we honor a legacy that has shaped the genre's past, enriched its present, and will inspire its future. The life of Lefty Frizzell is a compelling story of brilliance and struggle, an artist who changed the face of country music, yet faced battles that shaped his journey in profound ways. Known for his emotive voice and innovative phrasing, Lefty left an enduring impact on the genre, inspiring legends like Merle Haggard, George Jones, and Willie Nelson. His songs, filled with raw emotion and storytelling, continue to resonate with audiences, a testament to his deep connection with fans who found solace in his music. Lefty's legacy, however, goes beyond his contributions to music. His life serves as a powerful reminder of the challenges many artists face behind the scenes. The pressures of fame, coupled with his struggles with addiction, took a toll on his health, his relationships, and ultimately, his career. These battles shed light on the darker side of success, prompting a conversation about the realities of mental health, substance abuse, and the resilience required to navigate fame. His daughter's perspective offers invaluable insight, showing Lefty not just as a musical icon, but as a father grappling with the weight of personal struggles. Through her efforts, she has ensured that his story remains intact, an honest reflection of a man who loved his craft, but was ultimately human, vulnerable to the same challenges many people face. In sharing her experiences, she honors both the artist and the person he was, preserving his legacy for future generations. Lefty Frizzell's music endures, celebrated by fans new and old, and his influence continues to inspire artists to pursue authenticity in their work. His story remains a blend of triumph and tragedy, reminding us that even the most talented figures carry unseen burdens. As we remember Lefty, we celebrate his contributions to country music and the lessons his life offers about resilience, vulnerability, and the enduring impact of art. In the end, Lefty Frizzell's legacy is a reminder that greatness often comes with complexity, and through his music, his voice will continue to resonate, touching lives and hearts for years to come.